If you own a home or have looked into buying a home, you know that the world of real estate isn't exactly simple. The amount of information out there can be overwhelming. Fortunately, Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi is here to help. They break down complicated topics ranging from home renovation to mortgages in straightforward and easy-to-understand terms. And now, here are Dave and Cyndi, the voices of Real Estate Now.
Welcome to Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi. We are happy to be here this morning with you all and hope you're having a great Saturday. We have had a really busy week. I can't believe how busy the market has been this spring. It's just crazy, taking off like anything.
Well, it's like everybody figures school's almost out and it's time to go buy a house.
When did summer get so short?
Well, I think when spring and winter decided just to hang out forever.
Well, I grew up in Portland, and about February we started getting daffodils and tulips, and it's May. And
yeah.
It's shocking to me, I guess.
Well, it wasn't too long ago I saw a bunch of cars coming in from the hillsides with snow on the front of them.
Well, that was
still.
like yesterday, I think.
Yeah, it's
no, probably not yesterday, but yeah, it's crazy. We went up to Island Park last weekend, and they had snow. We were up there. It was actually snowing.
And the Mini Cooper doesn't do that well in snow. We got about maybe 4 inches of clearance. Mm-hmm. And so, large snowballs, and basically we're getting high-centered.
Yeah, we got to remember to put the top up next time. Anyway, so hashtag Island Park.
Oh, hashtag.
Yeah.
And what was the hashtag you did this week for me? I don't even understand hashtags. Our kids are way into it.
I don't remember. It was something about hashtag Dave remembered to fill up my gas tank so we don't run out of gas.
Yeah, I think that one's maybe about...
all one word?
Yeah, about 100 letters too long for a hashtag.
I don't even know what a hashtag is.
Well,
I don't understand the whole point. It's like people just hashtag random things. So I guess we need a hashtag real estate now.
There you go, hashtag real estate now.
But if somebody does it just go out into cyberspace somewhere? I have no idea. It's like, do you click on it and does it take you somewhere?
I don't know. Does it have anything to do with Twitter? Who knows?
I don't understand. Well, we'll figure this out. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. Okay, so we just had lunch today at Chick-fil-A. It was awesome. We sat out in the sun. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And what is with the my pleasure thing? I just have to say, it seems like lately there's several businesses I've been going into, and you say thank you very much, and they say my pleasure, and they have to say it. It's like they train their employees to say my pleasure.
Yeah, and you'll ask them the most obnoxious thing in the world, and their response is
my pleasure.
My pleasure. We love it.
I know. I don't get it. Maybe we should incorporate this into our real estate business.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, what happened to your welcome? Is that not PC
And
anymore?
maybe no problem sounds like, it is a problem, but we're not going to consider it a problem. But no, it's my pleasure. Even the banks you go into. And it's almost funny because we'll go in through the drive-through window and try to mess them up with a few things to see if we can still get a my pleasure out of them.
I know.
It is. It's a
the
game.
Games we play.
It really is.
I know.
But it works. They still come back with a my pleasure.
Yeah.
They might be like Stepford Wives in there.
I don't
it's
know.
not real people.
I don't know. Robots.
Yeah,
they train them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, that seems to be a new trend. So it's kind of funny. But my favorite thing, though, at Chick-fil-A, though, was we were drive-through. We were sitting in the tables outside, and this poor lady in her SUV drives through the drive-through window, and her kids were screaming like bloody murder, literally in the back seat.
And you knew they had like 12 kids in there because it was like coming from back rows and back rows.
I think there was only 2 kids.
Really?
Yeah, and the poor lady.
That was a lot of sound for 2 kids.
She was trying to order her chicken nuggets or whatever they were, and these kids were so loud. I felt so bad for her, and she's like, "Kids, be quiet, please." But anyway, randomly weird, but it's funny. I miss having my grandkids around here so we can have a little bit of that.
And your grandkids are moving.
They are. I don't want to talk about that right now.
They're going for sunnier climes.
I know. I'd follow them if we could, except we're getting into the beautiful time of year here in Idaho Falls. It's just gorgeous.
Grandkids are wanting to move to
Arizona.
Phoenix area, and that'll be really hot. I think they want to go right in the middle of July, too.
I know.
Maybe
Well,
like
it'll give us a great place to go visit.
30 degrees in the shade, right?
We'll go visit them in the winter.
Yeah.
When we're buried in snow. But anyway, it's so beautiful now. It's a great time to be out looking at houses, buying and selling homes. And we would love to help you do that. 403-DAVE if you'd like to get a hold of us and talk to us about anything to do with real estate, even if you just need a little bit of advice. Our Facebook page, you can like us on Facebook at Real Estate Now, and it has links to our blog and our website on there as well. We'd love to visit with you, answer your questions, anything that you have to discuss with us about real estate.
You know what? Take advantage of the market right now. You've got the prices are low, but also the interest rates are low.
They're still low, right?
It's that perfect combination, and who knows if we're going to see it again in our lifetimes.
Right.
It's probably as low as it's been really for, in this last couple of years, probably for the last 40 or 50 years for interest rates. Prices are very reasonable, and it's a great chance and opportunity to go out and buy something that you'll be living in for the next who knows how many years.
Well, if you're following the trend, 5 to 7 years.
Well, that's true. That's true. It sounds like the National Realtors Association says that average person is moving about every 5 to 7 years, like Cyndi was saying. And but like I said, go find a house. Go find a good house that you want to stay into, because you can lock in a really good interest rate and have an awesome place for years to come.
Isn't that funny, though, that people don't stay in their houses this long anymore?
Well, I know.
It used to be, they do these 30-year mortgages and stay in their home for 30 years. It doesn't happen anymore.
Maybe they need to make them a 30-month mortgage.
Yeah. Why not? That would be a high payment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be pretty steep there. I don't even know if you need to borrow a loan for that. If you're just going to do it in 30 months, just get it cranked.
Yeah, get it done. Yeah. Well, it's the time to be getting your yard and your home ready. And so spring cleaning is in full force. So planting your gardens, I see people out tilling up their yards. I get asked this sometimes too. People are getting ready to sell their house. Should I put in a garden? Should I plant a garden? And we both feel like it's a good idea if you've got that space in your backyard to have a small garden plot. Go ahead and till it up, get some things planted, because it shows really well. Even if people aren't gardeners, there's nothing better than going into a backyard and seeing this beautiful garden. Even if it's just a few little fruits and vegetables growing.
Right. And they see the potential of a garden there.
Right.
All of a sudden they can say, hey, this is a good garden area. It's got some south facing, so it'll get some sunshine.
Right.
And they can make it work. Our neighbors, we were out earlier today, and they were threatening us. They said, listen, your dandelions are starting to go to seed, and it looks like they're going to be blowing my direction. So would you mind getting those out of your lawn?
They're so much better than last year, though. You sprayed them this year at least, 3 times so far?
A few times, yeah.
They just are so hard to get rid of. But the stuff you bought out at the nursery, it seems to be working pretty well. It was kind of expensive, but do you remember what it was called?
It might have been gasoline. I'm not sure.
Just light the whole thing on fire and
No,
start over
it's
again.
just some broadleaf weed killer. But,
well, we actually have a neighbor that if he gets a dandelion, I think he'd actually rip up his entire yard and replant.
And we joke about taking some of our dandelions, cutting the tops off, and just setting them down in his grass to mess with them.
He'd probably freak out. That's funny, though. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun one. Okay, so if you're thinking about getting your house on the market, please give us a call. We'd love to help you. We've got some great listings out there. Some of the things that we do that are different than other agents that can help you to get your home sold quickly. Our internet presence is huge, and that's really what's going to be selling your home, is your presence online. It used to be you'd flip through a book and look at all of the listings and choose something to go out and take a look at. And now there's so many resources available on the internet to search for homes.
I said 90% of the people are doing all their initial shopping on the internet, looking at all the pictures, finding the locations, looking at the schools where they're located, and doing all that homework. Then they hop in a car. They choose 4 or 5, and then they start hopping in a car and driving by and looking at the various locations and see how they really look in person. And then sometimes they go and get an agent at that point.
Right.
But
that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a little bit about first-time home buyers, and a lot of it will pertain to you even if this isn't your first time buying a home or selling a home. There's some really good information we're going to give today that's very relevant to real estate today.
And if you bought your last house 7 years ago, things have changed a ton in the last 4, 5, 6 years. And so you really need to be on top of it, because it's a moving target. Things have changed, and you need to arm yourself with the best ammunition.
Right. Communication is something that's really important to a lot of our to everyone I think we talked to, but to our clients, we feel like we have really good communication. There's nothing worse than having your home listed and you never hear from your agent. I hear that a lot. And we really believe that that's so important. If your house is being shown, you want to know who showed it, when they showed it, what the feedback was, so that if there's anything that you need to change or anything that you need to do that you have control over, we can give you that information and help you to get your house ready.
Well, they say information's power.
Right.
And if you've got the information, if you can arm yourself with the information, then you can make a good decision on how you want to proceed. But if you don't have that feedback, you're just in limbo.
#feedback.
#mushroom.
Yeah, exactly. He was talking about this the other day. Okay, you have to explain your mushroom theory. Or what is it, your mushroom?
Well, yeah, it's a mushroom syndrome. It's
yes.
People feel like they're being treated like a mushroom, and how
kept
does it
in
go?
the dark.
Kept in the dark and fed
manure.
Yeah. That's the word, yeah. So,
right.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like a mushroom, that you just don't know what's going on, or whatever
right.
feedback you get is worthless.
Well, so keep listening, because today we are going to talk to you about how we're not going to treat you like mushrooms. And we'll be back.
When it comes to home loans, ever get the feeling that some banks don't care about your dream home? At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home loan experts are here to help you every step of the way. Along with listening to what you have to say, you'll enjoy a fast approval and closing with no fee and low cost options. And for a limited time, we're offering a free home warranty. So let's talk about home loans. Visit us at iccu.com. Equal housing lender. All loans OAC. Home loan warranty through Home Warranty of America. Expires September 30th, 2014.
Come join us today from 11 until 2 for an open house at 1284 Bluebird Lane in Idaho Falls.
This beautiful 4-bed, 3-bath home is fully updated and comes with lots of extras, including granite countertops, new carpet, and new two-tone paint throughout. The exterior features a huge yard, a large deck for outdoor entertaining, RV pad, and mature trees.
Again, the open house is at 1284 Bluebird Lane on the west side of Idaho Falls from 11 until 2. Come see your next home today.
Imagine how great it would feel to live without pain. Power strips from FG Express give you the power to move. Listed with the FDA as a Class 1 medical device, power strips are the all-natural alternative for the temporary relief of minor pain. Where does it hurt? Apply power strips directly to your skin for temporary pain relief. The outer layer consists of an elemental germanium that works like a prism to redirect your body's natural heat. The inner layer contains a gentle, exclusive blend of fermented Korean red ginseng, silver, and marine phytoplankton. For best results, apply a new power strip every day or two. Worn daily, power strips can also help to improve the look and feel of skin. Call 403-3980 to find out more about power strips. Take your life back and start enjoying your favorite activities again. Call 403-3980. Live free with power strips. That's 403-3980.
We've all met real estate agents like Trevor.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm going to try my best to sell your house for you, but it takes time, you know.
That's why they're all choosing us, Dave and Cyndi with Keller Williams Realty East Idaho, the largest real estate office in the entire region.
We have a strategic marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers. Plus, our home selling techniques get homes sold fast and for top dollar, too.
It's all bad news for Trevor.
My phone never rings. Maybe it's broken.
Call us directly at 403-DAVE. That's 403-3283.
Or visit us at our website at eastidahohomes.com.
On News Talk 97.7 FM, it's Dave and Cyndi, the voices of Real Estate Now.
Welcome back to Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi. And Cyndi reminds me to like us on Facebook at Real Estate Now.
That's right. Information on there on how to find us on our blog. We have a great blog, lots of really good information if you're thinking about buying or selling a home. And you can also call us at 403-DAVE. That's 3283 for those of you people who can't spell.
Now, we've talked in the past about how much our kids drive us nuts, our married kids that have gone off and, doing the college thing or trying to, establish themselves in a career. They want to rent and rent and rent and rent. And
I don't think they want to rent.
I think they do. I think they just want to be lifetime renters.
No, I think they just don't understand the benefits of buying a home. And that's the thing. I think a lot of what are they called, millennials? Is that what they're called now?
Well, yeah, I guess they are.
Millennials,
yeah. I think, yeah.
The ones that don't want to talk on the phone and they only want to text.
Exactly.
Well, the good news is we know how to text. So if you're listening to this and you are one of these people, send us a text message. I'd really like to know if you're out there listening to us and what you think of our show. So send us a text message at 403-DAVE and let us know. Give us some feedback. But we want to talk to you guys today. And maybe if you're listening to this and you've got children that are this age, or grandchildren that are in this age group of first-time home buyers, then you're going to get some great information we're going to give you today on buying a home. So if you are a renter, let's target the renters today. I know probably a lot of you are in a lease right now, because that's the trend. Is if you're going to rent something, you have to sign a lease in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. But there is a way for you to get out of your lease typically. I'm not going to say always, and I would definitely consult an attorney maybe, or someone,
or heaven,
at least a
maybe
parent.
even talk to your landlord.
Talk to your landlord. But there's usually a way that you can get out of a lease. So go talk to your landlord and ask them if they have what's called a buyout, and find out how much money that would be, because it would be a great benefit for you to buy a house. Your payments will probably be less than your rent, and you're going to be building equity. And if you don't know what equity is, there's 2 ways that you can earn equity, and that's the amount of money that you're actually going to make off your house when you go to sell it. It's like a built-in savings account. So as those home property values appreciate and your value goes up in your home, that's just like putting money in the bank. And then every time you make a payment, a big chunk of your monthly payment goes towards paying down the loan that you have on the home too. So when you go to sell that home, hopefully it's appreciated in value and you've been paying on it, so you've got money to put into your next home, which allows you to buy a bigger home and a nicer home. So it's a great investment for a young couple, or even if you're single, to go out and buy a home. With the interest rates as low as they are now, the odds are you're going to be paying less than you are paying in rent.
Yeah, I mean, what's the average rental price right now? I mean,
well, even our kids up at school, what were they saying, $650 a month for a little
1-bedroom or whatever? Yeah. You get into a 3-bedroom house here in town, and heavens, you're looking at over $1,000, maybe $1,200 on some of these homes, and it's not like they're big ostentatious places,
right?
And so it can be expensive. Whereas if you buy a $100,000 home, if it's not a fancy house, but a $100,000 home, your mortgage on that's going to be roughly $500 a month.
Right, and then you've got then your insurance and taxes, so it might add on a couple $100 more.
Renters often are having to do renter's insurance on their property as well.
That's true.
And so, it's not like, they're free and clear of everything. And if they don't carry renter's insurance, they probably should. So, because, if there's a fire or whatever, they may not be covered under the landlord's policy. For what they have.
That is true, so, and I know people that have had things happen to them and all of their things.
But I guess what we're saying is literally $500 a month for a $100,000 home, and you add on some your taxes, which would probably on a $100,000 home would run in the $700-800 a year amount. So. And then another $400 or $500 for a homeowner's policy. You're about $100 extra between insurance and your taxes a month.
So you're looking around $600.
Well,
I think when Colin was here a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about this, and we had him do the calculations, and I think he figured that a payment on a $200,000 loan was $850 or $800.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Well, it might have been a little bit more than that. Yeah,
okay.
But anyhow, like I said, you can really sock the money away instead of just burning that your rent money every month.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's like lighting a match to it and just sending it up to the landlord gods. Right. It's so much fun. You can actually have your own house, put nail holes in the walls, and paint it whatever color you want to paint it. Actually plant a garden and not have to worry about whether you're offending the landlord. And you're actually building equity.
Right, equity.
That magic equity word. And you know what? Live in it for a few years, and if you want to move into a fancier place, then you have the option of renting that house out. If you get it in at a good interest rate, heavens, you've got some real opportunities. There are many successful people that have built a lot of net worth by buying and selling homes in that process there, and actually having a few rentals
That's right.
that bring them in income and pay that mortgage for them every single month.
So have you ever heard about this town called Levittown?
I've heard you mention something about it, and I know Pete Seeger has this, one of the most rockin' songs
Yes.
ever.
What's it called? Little Boxes, I think is what it's called.
I can't remember.
Well, someone pointed out to me today that was actually the title song for a cable show that's on TV now. I had no idea it was remade, but evidently it was. But he talks about ticky-tacky and how they all look the same. And it's actually, the song was written about this little town called Levittown, and it was the first subdivision in the United States. Do you know where it was? I'm going to quiz you here.
I'm going for Arizona.
Right, yeah.
Florida.
No, New York. It was in New York, okay. Levittown, New York. And the way that this town came about was after World War II, all these GIs were coming home, and so the government was giving out these really low interest loans, and so they were able to get into these homes for super cheap, and they were building them. 30 of them were being completed every day in this
30
town.
a day.
30 a day.
Holy cow.
And they sold for $8,000. And they were all just these same little box houses. They all looked identical on the inside. A few small changes on the outside. But this book I was reading talked about this couple that moved in before the streets were even put in. Their house was finished and the streets weren't even put in yet. So they built 17,000 homes in Levittown by assembly line process. And it's kind of fun when you go back and see the pictures of them, because when I was looking online at this, what the houses originally looked like and what they look like today, those $8,000 homes from 1947, do you have any idea what they're worth today?
No clue.
In 2007, they were worth $400,000.
Oh, gosh.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's nuts.
And, that's, a little over 50 years we're talking about, 60 years or whatever. I don't know what the math is on that. 1947. And it's 2000 to 2007.
60 some odd. How about that?
Well, it's crazy. But buying your first home, just like these guys did back in 1948 for $8,000, that was a lot of money back then. And now, we still have homes available. We have a client right now looking in the $40,000 price range, looking for fixer-uppers that she can go in and flip or rent. She wants to go in and make them livable and habitable, because a lot of times in that price range there's a lot that needs to be done to get them ready to live in. But you can still get some good deals in the 50s and 60s, and I think there's a lot of values out there right now still.
Well, I remember as a renter, I'd go into the house and I wouldn't want to fix anything. And I would almost get frustrated. I'd sit around watching television because I wasn't about to go and try to fix something in the house.
Somebody else owns it. Yeah.
Somebody else owns it, and they might be mad that what you're doing in the house. And it's so cool to be able to have a place that's your own. And if you want to go and do something after work, and start working on a project, you've got something, and you're building more value into that house.
Well, some people want to do that, and so there are lots of opportunities for those fixer-uppers out there, but not necessarily. Not everybody wants to be able to do that. Or
I think you consider me a fixer-upper, don't you?
Yeah. Well, not everybody has the tools and the capabilities to fix up a house either.
Well, I don't have the capabilities. I might have some of the tools, but I still doesn't stop me from trying, right?
But they're fun projects, and most everything you want to do these days is on YouTube. So if you want to learn how to put tile in, you can watch a video online. And so if you feel like this is something you want to tackle, great. Go online, research it, study it, and see what you can come up with. Because don't be afraid to try, and see. You can always call somebody in later and have them fix it, right?
And I've done that once or
We've
twice.
done that a few times.
Back in the day, we used to have to watch Bob Vila on Saturday mornings. Yeah. Was it This Old House or whatever it was? But to see what he was doing, and you're kind of at his mercy to what project he was working on that week.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like you say, you go to YouTube and you just Google whatever, and you can find out how to do it.
It's true. Everything is online now. It's crazy. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the reasons people feel like they can't buy a house. And we are going to debunk all of those myths.
We're going to be Mythbusters.
Exactly. That's us. So stay tuned with Dave and Cyndi. With Real Estate Now, we'll be back in just a minute.
Imagine a life without pain. Power strips from FG Express give you the power to move. Listed with the FDA as a Class 1 medical device, power strips are the all-natural alternative for the temporary relief of minor pain. Using a patented fusion of modern energy and ancient herbs, Power Strips work like a prism to redirect your body's natural heat to relieve minor pain and improve the look and feel of skin. Call 403-3980 to start living pain-free with Power Strips. That's 403-3980.
When it comes to home loans, ever get the feeling that some banks don't care about your dream home? At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home loan experts are here to help you every step of the way. Along with listening to what you have to say, you'll enjoy a fast approval and closing with no fee and low-cost options. And for a limited time, we're offering a free home warranty. So let's talk about home loans. Visit us at iCCU.com. Equal housing lender. All loans OAC. Home loan warranty through Home Warranty of America. Expires September 30th, 2014.
If you're considering selling your home, listen up. Dave and Cyndi Schwicht with Keller Williams Realty East Idaho work with the largest real estate company in East Idaho. They have a strategic marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers, plus their home selling techniques get homes sold faster and for top dollar. Dave and Cyndi will guarantee to sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing at any time and pay nothing. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Check out eastidahohomes.com or call them direct at 403-DAVE. That's 403-3283.
Mom, Dad, I'm in 8th grade now. That means those years of peer pressure are way behind me. From here on out, it's all about good grades and living up to your totally realistic expectations. Alcohol is probably the last thing on my mind. Like you said, I'm too young to drink. When I'm with my friends, all we talk about are current events and boy bands. We're definitely not curious about what alcohol tastes like, or why the older kids drink. And do I notice when you have a drink at dinner? Of course not. Just like I haven't noticed where you keep the alcohol. Oh, and if the opportunity arises to talk to me about drinking, you should definitely continue to avoid it. And if you do bring it up, just remind me that I'm too young. That'll probably do the trick.
Real kids are curious about alcohol. 40% try it by the 8th grade. Start a real conversation at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. Talk early, talk often, get others involved. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi on News Talk 97.7 FM.
Welcome back to Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi, and we are going to become Mythbusters now for the next few minutes. We're going to talk about some of the myths that are out there, why people feel like they can't buy a home. And for all of you millennials, and probably Generation X, a few of you too, who are first-time home buyers, some of the reasons that we hear from these people a lot are, well, number one, they can't afford to buy a house. And we kind of talked about that in the last segment about why that's a myth.
And when we spoke with Colin Hunter recently, he talked about that a lot as well. You know,
from ICCU.
Yep, just get a phone call in there, or just go online and find out. Put your information in there, and they can have answers to you really fast. I mean, not only that day, but probably within an hour.
Right. You can do it on the internet if you don't want to make the phone call.
If they're like our kids, and you're afraid to talk to somebody on the phone, you can actually just be in your pajamas and just start doing it on the internet.
Fill out the application on the internet. They'll get back to you the same day, and then you'll know exactly what you can afford.
And we said knowledge is power before, but exactly the same thing. You know, find out and stop going off of what your, best friend's cousin told them.
You know, I think some of the things that our kids say about this, I can't afford to buy a home, I'm too young to buy a home, and they're newlyweds, they've just been married a year or two, and they're still going to college. They're not sure where they're going to end up and where they're going to be long term. So to them, I would still say buy a house, even if it's for a year or two.
We've got one client, and she's a single mom. She bought a house probably 2-3 years ago for around $40,000. Yeah, she's fixed it up a little bit, and now she's looking to buy something else, rent that old house out, and she'll make good money on it. There's a lot of people looking to rent something cheap, and that'll be a good cash flowing house for her. She's going to buy another one just the same way.
Exactly. She's so smart. And this is the mindset that I wish that more of these young kids would have. If they started in their 20s, if we would have started in our 20s buying houses and renting them, can you imagine where we'd be now? We'd probably have 10 or 12 houses purchased that were a rental, and all of that residual income that would be coming in. And I know a lot of people are nervous about renting out homes because there's everybody has horror stories about rentals and how their house was trashed. you can avoid a lot of those things by having a management company handle those things for you. And it's really not as expensive as I thought it was going to be to hire a management company.
I know a lot of folks that have a lot of rentals will do that. They just don't want to dealing with the hassle of collecting rent and some of those other things or maintenance issues. And so they turn it over to a management company, and they still make a really good profit on the property.
It's true. Well, another myth is that they want to wait until the market gets better, and there's really no better time than the present. There's such great values out there right now.
You know,
really great.
What's the old saying? There's never a bad time to buy the right property. And if the property is right, if it's priced right, it's a good time to purchase it. And the interest rates right now, we've said it a lot of times, they are historically low right now.
It's not going to get better than it is right now.
I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Another myth that says that they don't have any money for a down payment. That we hear this a lot. And there are some programs out there available right now. You could actually buy a home with nothing more than earnest money. And in the case of an inexpensive home, less than $100,000, that earnest money needs to be about $500.
Mm-hmm. And with some of those RD loans, the rural development loans, they can be here real close to town, just on the outskirts of town, and be able to get into a house for very little, if any, cost.
No cost. There's no closing costs involved if the seller pays the closing costs, which is
common.
Very common, yeah. Not always, but it is common and something that can be negotiated into a contract. And then, so your closing costs are basically non-existent, and down payment is not required on an RD loan. And
the other nice thing on the RD loan is they take really low credit scores. You don't have to have some phenomenal A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau or whatever to get into that thing. I think when Colin was through, he was saying a 630 score on your credit app
I think you're right.
would do the trick for it. And that's amazing.
Sure. But check with your lender. You know, we're giving you information here that, to the best of our knowledge, we're not claiming to know exact numbers. We're just trying to guide you in the right direction. And so speak to the experts. When it comes to loans, it's important to speak to someone who does that for their profession. We know enough to get ourselves in trouble.
And if you contact us, we can put you in touch with
Sure.
some very good people there, give you some great suggestions on good people to talk to get all your questions answered.
Right. Our blog is realestateradio.blogspot.com, and we have all of our contact information there. Also, like us on Facebook at Real Estate Now. It has a link to our website, which is eastidahohomes.com. You'll have a search engine on there, too, that will allow you to go in and search the entire multiple listing service for this area, for the whole eastern half of the state. So, well, we've debunked some myths. Bad credit was one, but you were just talking about a little bit about credit just a second ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, I don't know what somebody's credit is, and the best thing to do is just get into the lender and find out. We've had people that have had foreclosures or had bankruptcies and all those various hits on their credit. Just get in and find out and figure out what needs to happen. If you can't get a loan right now, find out what you need to do to fix it.
Those are great suggestions. Something else I actually have heard from people is that they need to wait until they get married. They can't buy a house now because they're still single, and they don't know where they're going to end up.
Well, you know, the funny thing is they're saying the average person's living in a house for 7 years before trading out of it.
I think it's 5 to 7 years. Yeah.
That's longer than the average marriage, isn't it?
Yeah. True. Sad, but true. And okay, so the last myth that we hear is that the process is just too complicated. And I think it scares some people off. They feel like there's just too much involved, and I'm too busy, I can't deal with that.
Well, and the process it can be pretty complicated, but that's the beauty of having an agent. Getting a good agent that can help you through that. That's what they're paid to do, is to cut through all the minutia and make it a very smooth transaction.
Well, you brought up a really good point there. You said that that's what they get paid to do.
Mm-hmm.
Realtors, we work off commission. And so if you don't understand how a realtor is paid, and if you're doing this for the first time, if you're going out to look at homes, in this market right now, the person who pays the realtor is the seller of the property. So if you're a buyer and you're out
and we
looking
should say that's common practice now.
That's common practice
it's not
just about everywhere.
Written in stone, and that has changed over the years. But in today's market,
it's the sellers that pay the agents.
Both agents.
Exactly. And it's typically a 6% fee that is split between the buying agent and the selling agent. It goes to our brokerages, and then they distribute the funds and what is left to the agents who actually are doing the work. So 3%.
Sometimes it feels like those little scraps, those little crumbles coming off the edge of the table that gets down to us, right?
Right. Well, it's funny because people criticize realtors, I think, a lot. They think, oh, you're making 6%, you're going to sell my house, and you're going to get 6% of that. But I don't think they realize what the agents actually end up with when the whole process is over with. So, it's good to know. You need to be aware that is something that does happen. The agent is paid by the seller in this market typically. So if you're a buyer, you don't need to worry about hiring an agent and being expected to pay the money. It's not the common practice here in this area. So don't be afraid to give us a call. We'd love to take you out and show you some houses. We can refer you to a lender to help you get pre-qualified. That's all part of the process of buying a home.
Yeah, having a buyer's agent's almost a no-brainer at this point because it doesn't cost you, like you're saying, Cyndi, it doesn't cost them anything, really. Yeah, and they get all the representation. They have somebody in there negotiating, helping them through the transaction, as opposed to going directly to whoever's got the listing and expecting them to represent both sides at the same time, because they can't. They can't tell you anything about the motivation of the seller, and they can't disclose things. And
well, they'd like to represent both sides. I think.
Oh, sure, they'd love to.
Then it's the complete. You get that agent would get then the complete 6% for the sale of the home. Mm-hmm. Now, this is something that we needed to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up. So in our next segment, I think we'll delve into that a little bit more. But there's still, I just want you to keep in mind, there's still a lot of really great values out there. You can call us. We'd love to take you out and show you some great houses. And our phone number is 403-3283. That's 403-DAVE. And also you can get our information off our Facebook page, which is Real Estate Now. So when we come back, though, we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Imagine how great it would feel to live without pain. Power strips from FG Express give you the power to move. Listed with the FDA as a Class 1 medical device, Power Strips are the all-natural alternative for the temporary relief of minor pain. Where does it hurt? Apply Power Strips directly to your skin for temporary pain relief. The outer layer consists of an elemental germanium that works like a prism to redirect your body's natural heat. The inner layer contains a gentle, exclusive blend of fermented Korean red ginseng, silver, and marine phytoplankton. For best results, apply a new Power Strip every day or two. Worn daily, Power Strips can also help to improve the look and feel of skin. Call 403-3980 to find out more about Power Strips. Take your life back and start enjoying your favorite activities again. Call 403-3980. Live free with Power Strips. That's 403-3980.
We've all met real estate agents like Trevor.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm going to try my best to sell your house for you, but it takes time, you know.
That's why they're all choosing us, Dave and Cyndi with Keller Williams Realty East Idaho, the largest real estate office in the entire region.
We have a strategic marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers. Plus, our home selling techniques get homes sold fast and for top dollar, too.
It's all bad news for Trevor.
My phone never rings. Maybe it's broken.
Call us directly at 403-DAVE. That's 403-3283.
Or visit us at our website at eastidahohomes.com.
When it comes to home loans, ever get the feeling that some banks don't care about your dream home? At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home loan experts are here to help you every step of the way. Along with listening to what you have to say, you'll enjoy a fast approval and closing with no fee and low cost options. And for a limited time, we're offering a free home warranty. So let's talk about home loans. Visit us at iCCU.com. Equal housing lender. All loans OAC. Home loan warranty through Home Warranty of America. Expires September 30th, 2014.
Come join us today from 11 until 2 for an open house at 1284 Bluebird Lane in Idaho Falls.
This beautiful 4-bed, 3-bath home is fully updated and comes with lots of extras, including granite countertops, new carpet, and new two-tone paint throughout. The exterior features a huge yard, a large deck for outdoor entertaining, RV pad, and mature trees.
Again, the open house is at 1284 Bluebird Lane on the west side of Idaho Falls from 11 until 2. Come see your next home today.
I'm working 2 jobs, and my husband works too. My kids go to school with your kids. I sit next to you at PTA meetings. We live right next door. We've been neighbors for years. You know my family and me pretty well, but here's one thing you don't know. I'm 1 out of every 6 Americans, and my family is struggling with hunger. Like you, we believe in this country. What's hard to believe is in the land of milk and honey, how many hardworking Americans have to choose between paying bills and feeding their families. This is a problem with a solution. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for those around you quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. For the latest in real estate, it's Dave and Cyndi with Real Estate Now.
Welcome back to Real Estate Now with Dave and Cyndi. We were just talking about having whether you want to just use one agent or a couple of agents for the transaction. What do you think, Cyndi?
Well, you brought this up, and I wanted to talk about this because we do see this quite frequently, that people will call us and want to go out and see 1 or 2 houses, and they're already working with another agent. Or they'll call the listing agent on the house and think that they're going to get a better deal if they buy that house working with a listing agent. Now, there are some agents that may negotiate fees out there. Most agents don't take less than their fees that are common of 6%. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. There are a lot of expenses involved in marketing a home, and so 6% is pretty standard. But by using the listing agent to purchase a home, you're really becoming an unrepresented client in the process.
Yeah, it's true. And there are some states that don't even allow that to happen.
That's right.
The reason why you want to have a buyer's agent, there is so much research that your agent can do for you. It's not just the negotiation. It's not just helping you through the paperwork, but it's doing some background research on that home, trying to find out whatever information they can get for you that might help you negotiate a better price on that home or just better terms on that home.
Correct. The listing agent has a fiduciary responsibility to the seller first, because they've already signed a contract with that seller that they won't disclose any information that they don't want them to disclose. They can't tell you anything about the property, about the seller's motivation for selling the property, about the seller's financial obligations, or anything. They have to be completely closed-mouthed about that with you as a buyer. And that puts you in a little bit of a precarious position as you're trying to purchase the property. If you don't have representation other than that listing agent, then they're not working for you in your best interest. So by having a buyer's agent involved, that allows you to have someone represent you and try to negotiate the best possible price for you, knowing all of your personal history and background, which then in turn the buyer's agent is not allowed to reveal to the sellers. So the best scenario for you is to have an agent that is not the listing agent. Now, there are listing agents who would love to sell all of their listings and have all of the 6% fee that's involved in that process. And who wouldn't want more money if they could get it? But as a buyer, it's not in your best interest. And so I would recommend getting a buyer's agent to help you to find a home. We've talked about some of the myths involved and reasons why people tell us all the time that they can't buy a house. And I think we pretty much put those to bed. There's really no way that someone can come to me and say they just can't buy a house unless they really do have bad credit. But even then, get it fixed. There's so many options available now to get your credit fixed and get back on the road to getting a home that it shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are more, it's this big boogeyman out there that they're just afraid of it. Go find out what the deal is and get it going, and you'll be in a house sooner than you may expect, probably.
Right. So the things that I wanted to just finish up with today, we're going to talk about some of the details. If you're out there looking for a house, now you're going to buy a house, and this would pertain to anybody, not just first-time home buyers, but anybody that's buying a house. So first of all, how do you like the neighborhood at different times of the day. You know, it's something to think about because, like you were saying, you got to tell this story. We were
years
talking
ago, I was going to school down in Utah, and I had been working all summer, and I waited until the last possible second to go down and get an apartment down there to live. And it was literally school starts the next day, and I've got a big moving truck sitting out in the driveway, and I'm going through the newspaper and looking at rentals. And I finally found one that would work, hit my price range. So called people up there, looked at it, looked great, signed the papers, and started moving in that day. It wasn't until 5 in the morning the next day that I realized we were right across the street from the fire station. And that horn went off at 5 a.m., and I thought I was dying. It was horrible. And so for the next...
all-time
it was
one
of the worst spots there ever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like fire departments, great, but it wasn't the best place to live.
Yeah, well, I can see that. But if you look, different times of the day, different things are going on. You might find in the morning there's no cars on the street, but if you come home at night, everybody parks their car on the street. And if that's something that bothers you, then you need to know that. So drive through in the morning, drive through in the evening, and at different times of the day, and see what the neighborhood looks like. And that also leads into traffic. You want to find out what the traffic is like at different times of the day. Is there is it a major thoroughfare for people to get in and out of the neighborhood? What about the INL buses? Do they stop in front of your house? And if that is that maybe a good thing if you work at the INL, and maybe a bad thing if you don't. But it's good to know what the traffic's like in the neighborhood. The light and the sun, where does that hit your home?
You know, how many home buyers have we talked to that go, we bought a place and it's got a north-facing driveway, and all winter long it's just the driveway.
Well, I think they still have
over.
ice on them right now.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
They, you know?
it should be gone by July. You know,
Yeah.
but if that's a big deal, if you don't have a snow blower, you may actually hate having a north-facing driveway. Other people like it. You know, they say, I don't want the sun coming into the house all the time and heating up the house. So,
right.
But
in the afternoons,
you've got to really kind of figure out what your preferences are and what's important to you, and if you have those things figured out ahead of time, it makes a lot better decision on the home you're going to buy.
Well, and I think that's something that I don't think when I was younger I typically thought about. Where does the light hit? Does it come through the kitchen window in the morning or your bedroom window in the morning to wake you up in this perfect scenario and perfect world? But those are all things that you want to take a look at when you're out looking at a home. How does the noise carry inside the house, and also the traffic and the outside noises? How does that carry inside the house? Those are something we might want to just think about, and I'm not sure that's one that I've ever really given much thought to, but it makes sense. How about the floor plan? How does it flow?
Yeah, I mean, people, you could find a place that's comfortable with. Some people like these big open kitchens, and some of them want something a little more closed off. They don't want to be able to see the kitchen from the family room or the living room. They just want that as more of a cooking area, that they don't have to see where all the work's going on or worry about having a clean kitchen all the time. A lot of other people, though, moms will say, I want an open kitchen so I can see where all the kids are at any point in time. It's different preferences, but figure out what it is that rings your bell.
Sure, like the kitchens, for example, where are the appliances located? Does the dishwasher, is it in a place where you can't open it if somebody's using the refrigerator at the same time? So pay attention to those little details. Those are all important. Hallway width, too. That's another one I noticed. In some homes, they've built these hallways so narrow and tight. So just, be aware as you're walking through a home how the floor plan flows for you. Is there enough room for storage? So garage space, if nothing else. I know here in Idaho we have a lot of basements, homes with basements, and there's typically a storage room in the basement. So is there enough storage for all of your things and stuff?
Or you're going to have to go buy a storage unit to be able to put all of the rest of your garbage.
Well, it's our 7 kids worth of boxes in our garage.
Well, and that's another thing to think about, Cyndi, as you're going forward. Okay, maybe the house fits you today, but is it going to fit you in 5 years from now? And with the kids growing older, or if you're having additional children, is that still going to be a good fit for you, or are you going to be wanting to look for another place?
Sure. So looking at the resale value of the home, that's something to talk to your agent about too. If I buy this home, if I decide to sell it in 5 years, is it going to be easy to sell? Or am I going to have problems? What are the reasons why I should or shouldn't buy this home? Your agent should be able to help advise you in those areas.
Well, Cyndi, what do you think? Should a person start doing all their research on the internet first, or do you think, at what point do you involve a buyer's agent to help you cut through all the minutia?
That's the first thing I think you should do, is hire an agent.
And then have them talk you through all
exactly.
these things.
Because as we've said before, the lender can make or break a deal. So you want to make sure that you use a lender who is qualified, and we can advise you with that. So give us a call, 403-DAVE. That's the first step in the process. Let's talk and find out what you're looking for and how we can help you. We can advise you on lenders and all of the steps in the process from start to finish.
And then help you do that needs analysis, needs and wants analysis on your home, and help you find just the perfect place for you.
Exactly. And if you have a referral for us too, we love referrals. Maybe you're not the person that's looking for a home right now, but you know someone who is. Please give them our phone number, 403-DAVE. Like us on our Facebook page at Real Estate Now, and visit our website at East Idaho Homes if you'd like to just search. That's a great place to start, is to go on to eastidahohomes.com and start searching and just see what's out there and what's available. You might be surprised. We're happy to be here with you today. Hope you guys will join us next week at 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
The content and bad jokes of this show are the sole opinion of Dave and Cyndi with Keller Williams Realty East Idaho.